We're about to get started. Thank you so much for coming out tonight on this wonderful evening. My name is Angela Zania, and I'm the president of Grand Rapids Area Higher Education Network, or as we call it, GRAHEN. And tonight we're here to celebrate the 2010 Outstanding Adult Learner Awards. Sitting among us tonight are 12 non-traditional adult students who came back to learn and fulfill a dream, often at great sacrifice. They are genuine heroes, ordinary people who have accomplished extraordinary things. They share ordinary values and an extraordinary determination. They are GRAHEN's Outstanding Adult Award winners for 2010. Tonight we're here to recognize men and women who are exceptional inside the classroom and out. They face a different set of obstacles than the traditional student fresh out of high school. This exceptional group has been able to balance jobs, families, community involvement, class, and homework. We honor them tonight for their well-deserved successes. These outstanding adult learners are also setting an example for their families as well as other adults who may be seeking the same encouragement to pursue their educational goals. For many of you nominees, this may have been the first time that you learned of the GRAHEN Consortium. The Grand Rapids Area Higher Education Network is a consortium of 13 colleges and universities who all have a presence here in Grand Rapids. These schools come together to promote higher education and its importance here in our community. Let me introduce the 13 schools and our GRAHEN representatives. Representatives, please stand as I call your name. Aquinas College and GRAHEN Treasurer, Brenda Henning, Director of Adult Student Recruitment. Central Michigan University, Lacey Ottoman, Program Administrator. Cornerstone University, James Graff, Director of Corporate Affairs. Davenport University, Heather Connectal, Director of Admissions. She couldn't be here with us tonight. Ferris State University, Grand Rapids, Bill Foster, Recruitment Specialist. Grand Rapids Community College and GRAHEN President, Angela Zania, Recruiter for Adult Enrollment and Outreach Coordinator. Grand Valley State University and GRAHEN Secretary, Tracy James Hare, Associate Director for Admissions. ITT Technical Institute, Pete O'Hare, Community Relations Specialist, and Pete could not be here with us tonight. Northwood University, Brett Blythe, Program Center Manager. Spring Arbor University, Amy Rivera, Admissions and Corporate Relations. Thomas M. Cooley Law School, David D., Enrollment and Student Services Coordinator. University of Phoenix, Colette Palmer, Corporate Education Liaison. And finally, Western Michigan University, Grand Rapids, and GRAHEN Vice President, Jean Hibbard, Student Services Coordinator. Thank you very much. GRAHEN's big event every year is the Outstanding Adult Learner Awards. Tonight, we celebrate the achievements of adult learners for the 11th consecutive year. Out of all the nominations, excuse me. So I want to explain a little bit how the process works. We announced at each of our respective schools that we were looking for an outstanding adult learner, and we solicited nominations from both faculty and staff. And once those nominations were submitted, a committee was gathered to review all the applications. And out of all the nominations, one winning candidate was chosen from each academic institution based on their performance in 6 categories: written essay, academic accomplishments, grade point average, community service, leadership, and workplace achievement. Before I announce the 2010 winners, I'd like to introduce our first speaker. Tonight's keynote speaker is Mr. David John Olson. David is involved in many different endeavors that help develop not only his profession, but also his community. David Olson is the Vice President for Granger Construction Company. He has been involved in construction management, planning, and building for the past 11 years. David teaches as an adjunct faculty member for Northwood University. David served our country and was honorably discharged from the United States Marine Corps as a Marine Combat Instructor of Water Survival and an Air Traffic Control Radar Technician. He earned his bachelor's degree in Business Administration from Wayland Baptist University and went on to attain his Master's of Business Administration from Northwood. David has also studied contract negotiation, contract writing, and conflict resolution at the Thomas Cooley Law School. Today, David teaches many of the management courses for Northwood University in Grand Rapids and Lansing. He is very dedicated to making sure that Northwood's adult learners not only learn business concepts, but also have the know-how to transition those concepts into actions. Please help me welcome Mr. David Olson.
What I'd like to talk about tonight for the next 4 hours is, just joking. I do that every class, the beginning of every class, and the students that really want the A, I find really just belly laugh and roll around on the floor. The ones that, the C students, kind of roll their eyes. And the ones that are new, who haven't had me before, tend to reach for the drop slip. So I like to play a little joke from time to time, and I really appreciate the words having me come here. It's a wonderful thing. I'm impressed with the caliber of the people and more impressed with the people who support those people. It's important. I'm glad to be a part of it. If you haven't learned anything about me in the last 45 seconds, it's that I like to have fun. And, you know, it's something that I think transcends an environment. It's something that I try to bring into the classroom because I think it's one of the most important attributes that we have to help us learn. It's proven, I learned this in the Marines, that when you're faced with a fight or flight situation, when you've got the pressures of the world, your brain shuts down and your body diverts blood to the core parts of your body, and learning's really impossible. So I like to have fun. Laughing's encouraged. If you feel like spontaneously getting up and running around and yelling, you can do that. So this will be fun. I don't take myself too seriously, and neither should you. And I don't have a grade to hold over your head like I do the students, so it's okay. I'll try to make this as good as I can. I also begin each class with a little disclaimer, and that's if you expect me to know everything, then go back and get your money back. Now, I know that probably sends shivers down Brett's spine in a tough economy, and there's a whole bunch of classes here that people could take, colleges to go to, but I don't think we've ever had anybody take us up on that. And why do I say that? I'm a pretty smart person. I've got a lot of experience, vice president of a firm, $300 million, you know, that and 50 cents, get you a cup of coffee. I've got my MBA. I took a lot of law school classes I really enjoyed, published writer. I've done a lot of things in my life I'm really proud of, but I'm smart enough and secure enough in my own skin to know that I don't know everything. And I think it's funny how your mind and ego kind of play a trick on you into thinking that you're kind of the center of the universe. And one of the things that we do in some of the classes that I teach, especially 401, Philosophy 401, is really make sure that everybody has a good understanding of where they fit within the class and within the world. We do kind of a, Edith's laughing because she's been through this, we do kind of an experiment, and I call it the Dave Show because I am the center of the universe. But basically everybody's the star of their own TV show. And through that, we learn about their lives, and if you're really good and friends with somebody and nice, maybe you get a recurring role on their show. If you don't, then you're kicked off, almost like one of those shows that you get voted off. Fortunately, at the end of the day, we're all in class together, but we develop a relationship with one another that I think is very important. We really invest in one another, and that helps us get to where we're going at the end of the day. I think that's an important part of what we do at Northwood, and I think you guys are doing here, obviously, by the leaders that you have here receiving these awards. Tonight I was asked to prepare a talk about the differences between what I'll say an adult learning experience is and normal learning experience. I don't know what normal is, but maybe a traditional, conventional. I don't like those words. I like the challenge convention. But I think it's, you know, something that I can speak to because I've done both. I've gone the route of the normal career right out of high school, and then I've had experience as an adult learner too. The stories and painful scars of my regular traditional education always bring me back to the fact that I love sports. I was blessed with the ability to want to play sports. God just didn't give me the ability to play sports. So I love to play sports. I'm no good at it. So when I went to college right out of high school, I majored in two things, sports and girls. Well, you know how the first one went with the sports. I'm not really good at it. I told you that. The second one, I wasn't really good at that either. So I found myself at a crossroads, and I had to go face my folks. Fortunately, they really loved me a lot, and they were patient with me, probably worn down by my older sister who, you know, did everything wrong and ended up okay too. But we got to a point where they said, David, we want you to go forward and we want you to do what you can do. And I was able to kind of make my way around, and really within about 9 or 10 months figured that I had to go back and get my education. I didn't want to go the traditional route. I didn't find that going to community college part-time, working part-time was probably going to be something that worked out for me. And I didn't certainly want to burden my folks with another couple of years of bills and sending laundry money and taking care of me. So one of the ways I found to do this was through the Marine Corps, and it was a great exchange for me, probably some of the best years of my life, and it really taught me a lot of lessons like discipline. Yeah, that took me about 30 seconds in boot camp to get that. They shaved my head and, man, I had discipline. But I think it's important because it talks to something that I'm going to get into a little deeper tonight, and that's experience. You know, we have probably 50, 60 different realities going on right now in this room. And each one is different, and it's based on our experience and where we are, where we find ourselves tonight. I think that's important because that's the hallmark of this building block, which is education. When I was 18, struggling through my first couple terms in college, my dad got me a shirt. It said, "Teenagers, move out now while you know everything." And I wore that, and you know, the joke was lost on me. Despite my ignorance and my stupid mistakes, my parents let me stick around. I don't know if I'm as smart now as I was then, but I do owe a lot of what I did to my folks, and I'm glad to see that there's so much support here for the students tonight. You know, this is kind of a sad story. When I was 30, I looked at all the mistakes I made when I was 20, and then I was 40, and I looked back when I was 30 and said, how could you be so stupid? And now I'm 30 again, and I'm looking back, and actually I'm 41 for the record. So I got some more mistakes to make in my 40s, and probably 9 years I'll look back and say, boy, you're really dumb. You get the picture. But in a word, the answer to that question about the difference between tradition and adult, I think, is experience. And it's something that you can't discount. It's something that I find in the students that I teach, and I value that. I think when I go into class and I deal with somebody or interact with somebody like Edith, who is an assistant vice president at a pretty prominent bank around the area, getting her degree, going back and leading by example, how foolish would I be in my ignorance to think that I know a lot more about banking or finance than Edith. I work for a construction company, and while I have fiduciary responsibilities, I certainly don't manage the accounting aspect of that. And I know accounting is FIFO and LIFO, and not too much more than that. No, I'm just kidding. But I find when I go and get past myself and engage with Edith and have her engage the class, we all benefit. And there's 20 other students that we can ask for their opinion, and we can move the ball forward a little bit at a time. And at the end of the class, we're all pulling the rope in the same direction, and I think that makes a big difference. So what does experience mean in life, and what is that difference as it manifests to the leaders and the learners here? I think it gives a different perspective. I think that perspective enables us to be better leaders. Now, leadership is something I know a little bit about, being in the Marine Corps, and I value that. I think in life you have three options: lead, follow, or get the heck out of the way. I choose the first as a teacher, as a Marine, as a business leader, and I think you should too. I think the 12 leaders that are here embody some of the stuff I'm going to talk about. And I want to be brief because Shakespeare said brevity is the soul of wit, and I think Shakespeare's a pretty smart guy. So I learned 13 traits. I'm going to share with you 3. Decisiveness is the first one. We all have to make decisions. I think your ability to make decisions speaks a lot about you, your character, courage, your competence. And I find in business, it's probably the most important trait that you have, your ability to make decisions. When you can't make decisions, when you put off decisions because you don't want to make a mistake, you're making a decision to not make a decision. And that's when you have problems. Now, the next one is initiative. To be a leader, you have to show up, and clearly you're showing up. When I went through my MBA program, we met on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. And for a long period of time, I didn't get to watch TV on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Didn't see Friends. Why did NBC put Friends on Thursday night? Was it a conspiracy? No, I don't watch a lot of TV, but there's a sacrifice there, and TV's kind of an anecdotal thing. It's the family, it's everybody here that pays that price when that learner's in school. And that's something that should be very appreciated, I'm sure it is. But it's the initiative. It's showing up. It's doing what you have to do. It's going to class. It's doing the homework when you really, really don't want to, or when you've got a project at work that really, really, really needs to get done, or your kids want food, or whatever answer is that comes up in your life. Showing up is an important part. The last one, and I think it's an equal part of the three-legged stool, is integrity. Without integrity, everything's lost. As a Marine, I learned that. As a business leader, I learned that. And it's something that really smacks me in the face every day. In class, I really like to share real-world experiences with students. So we all sign a little disclosure, and we say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. We're not going to go out and share any trade secrets. And I tend to bear souls. I may change the names to protect the innocent sometimes. Recently, just in the last couple of weeks, we lost a fairly sizable job, $20 million, based on shenanigans, based on really unprecedented fraud. And at some point, you have to do what's right. So going down that path of doing what's right, not just for us, because we knew at this point we wouldn't win that job, but doing what's right for what's right, for our industry, because we did the right thing. There's a point of diminishing return that you have to kind of balance, but it's something that, with integrity, you face all the time. In my life, just this past week, I've been reminded of what lengths you should go to do the right thing. Faced with opposition in a room about this size, with people that were against me, I had to face them with the facts, unpopular facts, and tell our truth. And I did it. It wasn't easy. I rather would have not have had to do that, but I did it, and I feel better for it. Now, that issue died last week. It's not going to translate into any more money or any more work. In fact, we probably burned some bridges along the way, but we did what was right, and that goes back to integrity. So, sitting here, I really, respect what you have done because I've sat in that seat myself. I know what it takes, the sacrifices to do what what you're doing, and I applaud you. I've got a little confession. I have to say I'm not a teacher. I like to think of myself more as a coach. I don't like to go into class and preach and show how smart I am. I like to go in and engage, and in my David Little way, I go in and say, we're all in a train, I'm the conductor, toot toot. We're gonna take a ride, we're gonna look out to the right, we're gonna look out to the left. Edith's laughing because I really do this, and if you see something along the way that we should see or take a look at based on your experience, pull the brake, we'll stop and we'll learn about it. And we do that, and that's been a great part of our success. I would like to be that coach, though, and I don't pass out little bracelets, WWDD, what would David do? I don't teach what's on page 42 because, quite frankly, you'll never remember what's on page 42. You won't even remember the name of the book. You've sold it, you've gotten that money, and you've already spent that. What you will remember are the real-world experiences that we have, the real-world experiences that you have, the moments in your life when you've got to make decisions about doing homework and feeding the kids and changing diapers and dealing with that troubled boss. That's what's making you good leaders. So as I look out here, I see outstanding adult learners. No, I see outstanding adult leaders. And if you take a walk with me, and we take a walk, not a train, and walk this time, and we're going in, and let's pick up that paper. We open it up, and what do we see? We see Edith, who's running the bank now. We see some of the other leaders here who've won awards that are brokering that big deal for downtown Grand Rapids, bringing that big business in, or leading that discussion about what's next in big for their industry in Grand Rapids. We're seeing all that, and we can remember that it all started here. So learners, I say leaders. And lastly, before I close, I think everybody should give a round of applause for the support network. I know what it's like to have people who support me day in and day out. When I was going through school, when I wasn't going through school, it means the world. I know it means the world to these leaders, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Olson. And now it is my pleasure to introduce to you the winners of the 2010 Outstanding Adult Learner Awards. Award recipients, please come to the front after your name and bio is read. Your school's representative will present you with your award, and please pause in the center for a picture and then you can return to your seat. Don't worry, you won't have to make a speech or anything.
Good evening, I'm Brenda Hennig from Aquinas College, and what I'm about to read was actually written by Pamela Dale Whiting, who's an English professor at Aquinas, who is the person who nominated Connie for the award tonight. So Connie, if you could please kind of come to the front as I read this, that would be helpful. Actually, it's just so that everybody can see who I'm talking about. Okay, Connie Height is graduating from Aquinas with a language arts major in education. She has managed to earn her degree even while working full-time as a medical assistant at Spectrum Health and parenting 3 children. Not only is Connie an outstanding student, but she has received recognition for excellence in her work world by receiving the Whatever It Takes Spectrum Health Award. Despite her demanding schedule, Connie has contributed to the Grand Rapids community through her involvement in the Staff Satisfaction Committee and the Unit-Based Council at Spectrum Health. Other volunteer committee work she participates in includes her role as the Vice President for the Family Readiness Group, a group which supports families whose husbands are on active duty in Iraq, participating in the Relay for Life, the Lowell Pink Arrow Project, and tutoring students in elementary, middle school, and college levels. Beyond her parenting, working, and attending college, Connie also maintains an active creative life. In 2008 and 2009, she published creative nonfiction essays in the Aquinas College literary and art magazine, The Sampler. All of these accomplishments are significant in themselves, but it is Connie's integrity, wisdom, and commitment to the well-being of others, touching the lives of patients and the lives of students, which makes her such an exceptional person.
Hello, I'm Lacey Ottoman with Central Michigan University. And while I did not nominate Jason for the award, I have hands-on knowledge that he is an excellent student. Jason and I have had several classes together in Grand Rapids as well. So I will read your bio now. Jason is an outstanding adult student balancing many responsibilities while pursuing a Master of Science in Administration through Central Michigan University. A student who pursues such a degree on average would complete this degree in 2 or more years. Jason has excelled in his academic pursuits and is currently overcoming the odds to achieve this goal in just over a year. Jason has served his country with honor in the U.S. Air Force, where he exemplified outstanding leadership qualities and participated in operations in Afghanistan for Operation Enduring Freedom. Currently, Jason is a full-time employee with the FAA, responsible for safety compliance. Public service is of utmost importance to Jason. In fact, Jason's professional responsibilities often require him to travel to Oklahoma City. It is during these trips that he spends time volunteering at a homeless shelter. In addition to his studies, work commitment, and volunteering, Jason is also a loving husband and father. His dedication and leadership characteristics are commendable, and we are proud to call him a Central Michigan University student.
Hello, my name is James Graff, and I'm with Cornerstone University. I am the Director of Corporate Affairs, and our candidate and our winner is Brian Akery. Brian, if you could stand up. I am not going to read word for word verbatim what I have in front of me. I know everybody here can read, so I'm just going to highlight some key points, and then I'm going to talk a little personal story about Brian that I have. Brian, right now, he's enrolled in our Master's of Business Administration currently. He has a 3.55 GPA, and in addition to being a full-time student, he works over 40 hours a week at Mercy Health Partners in Muskegon, Michigan, as a physician's assistant. Brian has been involved with numerous volunteer programs. He's worked with Youth with a Mission, he's worked with Mercy Ships, and what he plans to do with his MBA is part of his passion for life, and that's to help people. On a personal note, when Brian came to class the very first time, I thought he was a professor. And it's kind of an ongoing joke in our classroom because of the way he holds himself and conducts himself. I had the luck of sitting next to Brian, and when we were in class the very first night, we were supposed to describe who we are and what we do. Brian went first, and then it was me. So after Brian gets done saying that his goal of his MBA is to go out and do work with the poor, the helpless, do missionary work abroad in other nations, when it came to me, it was kind of a hard bar to jump. So I lied and I said I was going to go for President of the United States. But Brian has been an excellent contributor to class, and we all benefit from his wisdom in the classroom. And he is the definition of an adult learner at Cornerstone University. We have a saying at Cornerstone that says, build a life that matters. And I think Brian's definitely building a life that matters and constructing new ones as he goes along. So thank you very much, Brian, and congratulations.
my name is George Watt Jr., and I work for Davenport University, and I am the one that nominated Dennis. I'm just going to read a few comments about him. Dennis is currently working on his Bachelor's of Computer Information Systems. He currently has a 4.0 and will accomplish his degree spring of 2011. He maintains excellent grades while working full-time, 40 to 60 hours, plus spending time with his family, his wife, sons, and participating in various community services. Dennis feels that it is important to put others and people's needs first. Dennis is a den leader for his Cub Scout group and also volunteers for other various tasks and supports the Scouts, including Pinewood Derby technician, base camp counselor, and is a finance deacon for his Forest Hills Baptist Church. Dennis also enjoys spending time helping his grandfather collect sap from his trees and making maple syrup with him. A long time tradition, long family tradition. And I'm glad to welcome him as part of the Davenport family.
I'd like to introduce Sandy Gregory from the admissions office at Grand Rapids Community College, who's going to read the winner bio from GRCC.
The Grand Rapids Community College winner is Hannah Gilliam. Her letter of recommendation reads, Hannah is destined for a high level of success and service to others. GRCC's 2010 Outstanding Adult Learner, Hannah, is a shining star and a unique example of triumph over adversity. Hannah is a loving single mother of 2 young children who are beautiful and in the back there. She has overcome major obstacles and endured difficult challenges with courage, hope, and determination. She has endured her life's tribulations with a beautiful sense of grace and optimism. Hannah has maintained a near 4.0 GPA at Grand Rapids Community College, as well as an exceptional academic history. She is currently a member of the honors program at GRCC. Her future plans include transferring to the University of Michigan to complete her bachelor's degree in neuroscience and to further her education with postgraduate work. Hannah consistently remains highly motivated and hardworking and uses her positive attitude and the guidance she has received to persevere and achieve her goals. Hannah holds down 2 part-time jobs, one of which is as a student employee in the GRCC admissions office, and we're lucky to have her there. She is a full-time student and mother, yet she is able to balance her commitments and responsibilities while maintaining a professional, mature, and confident manner. She always puts family first, and her priority is to be a successful role model and encouraging example to her children. Congratulations, Hannah.
Good evening. My name is Tracy James Hare with Grand Valley State University. I am pleased to be awarding Teresa Rowland her Outstanding Adult Learner Award this evening. I have gotten to know Teresa over the last couple of years at Grand Valley, and she is just most deserving of this award. Teresa, would you please come forward while I read your bio? Teresa Rowland is working on her Master of Education degree at Grand Valley State University with an emphasis in college student affairs and leadership while serving as a graduate assistant in the Student Life Office. In addition to the programming and community service initiatives she has pioneered through her assistantship, Teresa has showcased her leadership abilities as an intern in the Women's Center, presenting at several conferences and volunteering her time in the community. In order to fully dedicate her time and devotion to her schoolwork and involvements outside of the classroom, Teresa has found a local housing arrangement during the week in Grand Rapids while her spouse lives at their home. Teresa has been described as being passionately committed to social justice and inclusion and has developed strong professional competence in this area. In addition, her interactions with others reflect the same degree of respect, civility, and appreciation for differences that is evidenced in her scholarly works. Congratulations, Teresa.
Good evening. My name is Mickey Carolyn. I am the nominating instructor for ITT Technical Institute's award winner. Lisa Nowakowski was this year's recipient. Lisa is currently a business student at ITT. She currently holds a 4.0 and is the proud president of the business club. Lisa is also involved in the Walk to Cure Diabetes and a volunteer for the Day of Caring. She has honors such as excellent attendance and a 4.0. Through her encouragement and mentoring of her peers, Lisa is a tremendous asset to the student body of ITT Technical Institute. Please join me in congratulating Lisa.
Shouldn't be a problem for me. My name is Brett Blythe. I'm the Program Center Manager for Northwood University, and I have the honor to discuss our winner, Edith Farrell. I'm going to read a little bit from her bio here. I know that we can all read it, but I figured everyone else is doing it. Why not? Edith's been attending Northwood University since 2008. She came to us as a transfer student from GRCC. She's a prime example of the what would be an adult learner for Northwood. She is a working adult. She is dedicated to not only her family, her work, and also her university. Edith is the Assistant Vice President and IT Officer for Union Bank in Lake Odessa. I'll be careful what I say. As Assistant Vice President, it is not uncommon for her to work 60 plus hours a week. She is a vital part to the bank's success and works tirelessly to make sure that they stay in step with innovation. Edith is also very involved in her community. She's involved in both the Lakewood Chamber of Commerce as a treasurer and her children's school activities. She helps coordinate fundraising, band camps, and football concessions. Edith has worked very hard to make sure that she balances her work life, her family life, and her education. She currently has a 3.9 GPA and is on track to graduate from Northwood University in December with honors. Ladies and gentlemen, Edith Farrell.
Hello everyone, I am Amy Rivera with Spring Arbor University, and we are here tonight to honor Horace Latimer Jr., who we are pleased is our outstanding adult learner. So if you'd come forward, Horace, while I read your bio. It says here that Horace exemplifies the qualities of an outstanding adult learner. He juggles the responsibilities of family, career, academics, and community service. What is central to Horace, however, is found in his self-description. My greatest personal achievement, says Horace, is being a husband and a father to a blended family of 9 children. Horace continues to say that his inspiration is to provide a warm and loving home for my family. The quality of heart, along with his desire to improve both through career and academic achievement, led him to receive notice as a student at Spring Arbor University. Others describe that Horace's actions speak louder than his words and that he is a trusted and relied upon employee. We witness that Horace lives what he believes and strives to be the best that he can in all areas of his life. He's currently enrolled in our Master of Arts in Counseling program, and we are honored to have him here tonight.
My name's David D., and I'm from the Thomas M. Cooley Law School. And I'm very pleased to have one of our nominating faculty members here to introduce our outstanding adult learner, Professor Chris Hastings, if you could come up.
Thank you, Dave. I've got a wonderful chance here to introduce you to a wonderful student, Craig Paul. And I got to meet his wonderful bride, Barbara, this evening too, and we went over the bio together. Actually, we only went through the first clause because it says, Craig successfully balances, and Barbara said, ha! Craig is one busy guy. He has a job that most of us would say, well, I don't need any more education. He's the IT director for Kent County. He's responsible for 1,600 computer users. He is busy without going to law school. Nonetheless, when he decided to go to law school, he jumped in with both feet. At law school, as some of you may know, the top person in each class gets something that used to be called a book award, and now they don't give you a book anymore. You get a certificate of merit. I got one, and I thought that was really cool. Craig has 7. Craig is a community leader. He's recently, actually I'm thrilled to have him with me on the board of the Legal Assistance Center for Kent County. He's done other things as well that you can read about in his bio. But what's really unique about Craig as an older student, and in law school, all our students are adults. Craig's a little more adult than some of them. But he's engaged, I shouldn't have said that, gosh. He's engaged fully with all the students. Everybody knows it. When I went into the office today and I talked with students, they said, what are you doing, Professor Hastings? I said, well, I get to go and give the Outstanding Adult Learner Award. And they, well, who's getting that? Actually, some of them said, well, it must be Craig Paul. And the others, I would say, well, it's Craig Paul. Oh, I know him. What a great guy. He's a Cooley ambassador, which means that he introduces new students to the school. He's involved as a grade magistrate. But more important, he's just there and he's engaged with every student. Every student is his friend. Every student has him as a mentor. And he makes the entire educational experience much more rewarding for everyone. So I'm really pleased that my nomination was accepted.
Hello, my name is Colette Palmer. I'm a representative for the University of Phoenix over in Grand Rapids. And I am very, very pleased to talk about our award winner, Jackie Russ. Please move forward. She's actually been around our campus for 4+ years. She's really been a pillar at the University of Phoenix in Grand Rapids. We're really happy that she's given this award, much deserved. I'll go ahead and read your bio. Jackie completed her bachelor's degree in business management at the University of Phoenix in 2009. She is now currently enrolled in the Master's of Business Administration at the University of Phoenix in the Grand Rapids on-ground programs, rather. She not only distinguishes herself as an outstanding adult learner, but also as an outstanding mother, employee, friend, and woman. Jackie is a mentor and a tutor in her community. She volunteers as a speaker on the subject of domestic violence and offers knowledge and encouragement to women's groups, helping some find ways out of very troubling situations. Each day, she strives to encourage those around her. She is an inspiration to others to pursue their goals and dreams as she has done. Jackie epitomizes the University of Phoenix adult learner. We're very excited for her. Thank you.
And last but not least, I'm Jean Hibbert of Western Michigan University, Grand Rapids. Our winner is Angela Schmidt, and she was nominated by Dr. Suzanne Hedstrom, who will be telling us a little bit about her.
It's my pleasure to discuss Angela Schmidt. She is in the finishing off stages of her master's degree in counseling psychology, which is a 48-hour degree. the pieces that she has left is her internship, 600 hours full-time, which she will be doing at Forest View Hospital coming up very soon. One of the things that I so much appreciate about Angela is her well-roundedness, and I'm not referring to her figure, but I know, that's terrible. She has a wonderful son who's at the second table over here. His name is Salvador. He's in the first grade, and he's just been a gem here this evening, and I know he is the light of Angela's life. She has been a single mother, has gone back to school to get her bachelor's and now her master's degree. She has also been employed most recently at the Domestic Assault Response Team and at the Heritage Clinic for Women. She's done a lot of work with families in crisis. You know, that's where her heart is. And she's getting her master's now so that she'll be able to use that passion and that focus and now her new counseling skills to serve this very needy population. She's also served as a volunteer in a number of settings, and her employer talked about her as a professional juggler. I would describe her as very perceptive and insightful and persistent. She does way beyond what is needed, and everything is always done top-notch. We at Western are very pleased that Angela is the recipient of this award and that she will soon be a graduate of our program. Congratulations, Angela.
I think we've got about 10 programs up here, so. I'd like to give one more round of applause for all of our Outstanding Adult Learner Award winners tonight. I'd also like to take this opportunity to recognize all of our nominees, and some of the schools had several of those, that were also recommended by our faculty and staff and submitted applications. And I want to give them a special thank you for their demonstrated leadership in the classroom and the community. On behalf of the GRAHEN organization, I'd like to thank the audience for their continued support for these outstanding adult learners. As Mr. Olson said tonight, encouragement and support from family and friends can help us to accomplish amazing things. I'd also like to acknowledge Grand Rapids Community College for hosting tonight's awards ceremony, and a special thanks again to Mr. David Olson for sharing his thoughts and experiences. GRAHEN also wants to express appreciation to the University of Farmers at Foremost Insurance, Holland Hospital, and Steve Pickering at Crosstown Communications for sponsoring portions of tonight's OAL event. We are very grateful for their support. All nominees and award winners should feel extremely proud of what they have done and are doing. Let's give all our winners one more well-deserved round of applause. At this time, we invite you to join us with a reception honoring tonight's Outstanding Adult Award recipients. But first, before we finish, if the winners could please join us up for the front for a group picture. I want to thank you all for coming tonight and joining us in this wonderful event. And please enjoy the reception. Thank you very much. Good evening. Oh, one more thing. If you did not receive a parking pass and you parked in the Bostwick ramp across the street, we'll be happy to provide you with one. And another note about parking, it's important that you exit at the lower level. There'll be an attendant there who will take your ticket as well as your yellow parking pass to exit.